And right now, together with us, we have all the fitness guru over here, which makes me feel a little bit guilty. I'm going to say a little bit straight, okay? And I think, okay, I'm going to let them introduce themselves first. I think maybe starting with the lady, Sharon, to introduce a bit about herself and also a little bit of her journey as well.
Oh, hi, everybody. Yeah, my name is Sharon. I used to play netball, and I'm currently playing boxing as well. So my journey started relatively weird, I would say, because I was very active when I was younger. So, but I was also very overweight, which was very puzzling, to be honest, because we were told that if you exercise enough, if you diet enough, you actually have a nice body and whatnot. But then actually that didn't work out for me. I was actually at my heaviest when I was younger and the most active. So it kind of made me want to find out more as to how people actually can get to the ideal body shape that they want. Through research and everything, I learned a lot of different techniques.
All right,
and
cool.
Yeah.
I think later we're going to ask you a little bit more on how you used to be overweight, and then right now you look really, really awesome. Okay, next we have Luke, who is going to share with us how you can literally breathe and become fitter and healthier.
And thank you for the introduction, Bowen, as well. So yes, my name is Luke. I'm a breath architect, and I focus on helping people and organizations breathe better for focus, for health, and to literally turn off stress. And my journey into breathing was because I used to suffer from chronic asthma for 4 decades of my life, and also I suffered from ADHD. But by relearning how to breathe, I now have eliminated 4 decades of medication, and now I breathe better and I'm a lot more focused, and here I am now to share a little bit more about myself later. So thank you.
Wow, that's really, really amazing to overcome depression and ADHD, and today looking so awesome. I think last but not least, our final speaker over here. Wow. He used to be an engineer, okay, but he found his passion in fitness, and today he's the founder of functional training as well. So let's hear it from Nelson.
Thank you. So my name is Nelson. I'm the founder of Functional Training Institute. I used to be an engineer, but one day my friend gave me a book called Think and Grow Rich that changed my life entirely. So later I'll review to you, there's one particular sentence that changed my life entirely that helped me to realize that my passion is to actually help individuals break free from chronic pain and achieve peak performance at the same time. So we'll share more in a while.
That's amazing. All right, so maybe we'll go back to Sharon, okay, because you mentioned that previously you have tried a lot of methods, but your program is a little bit special. It's called a Supermodel. Okay, Supermodel Fitness. Can you share a little bit more about your, training program as well?
Okay, so for Supermodel Fitness, we actually designed it to create like a balanced lifestyle between looking good and feeling good. I think it's very important for people to understand that to train for health and to train to look good is very different, because like for example, even at my heaviest, I was fit, I was healthy, but I was overweight. I didn't look the way that I want to look. Also because I didn't specifically train to look good. You get what I mean? So I think for fitness, a Supermodel fitness program, we utilizes diverse techniques to actually help someone to get to the structure that they want. We train specifically to what they are looking for, which is, yes, it's aesthetic, but then it's also aiming to actually make people feel good about themselves with looking good in the first place. Yeah.
And probably just to add on a little bit, because I think most fitness programs, they probably have to have a certain diet and all that. In terms of your Supermodel, do I have to actually go for a very strict diet?
Actually, no. I can't argue that diet is very important when it comes to fitness, come to being healthy. But then I think at the same time, there is a misconception about dieting and fitness, because people think that to lose weight or to look good, I have to eat very little. But the truth is that eating very little actually can cause weight gain, can actually backfire because it slows down your metabolism. And because muscles are metabolically active, you need you need energy to conserve it. So if you don't eat enough, you actually will, your metabolism will slow down because you lose muscle. So it's actually a whole vicious cycle altogether. So
Alright.
yeah, so in supermodel fitness, we actually don't advocate for people to go on very strict diet or eat ridiculously little. That is not sustainable. Like yeah, so I think it's more important to actually learn how to eat to complement your training and also that in a way that is sustainable for your life, because you don't want to be eating chicken and broccoli for the rest of your life. Just definitely not, right? Yeah,
Yes,
so,
definitely
yes.
not, definitely not. I hope I'm not having that for lunch later on as well.
Yeah,
do I?
I was just going to ask Sharon, because lunch is right around the corner after this. So what tips do we actually have for the audience? Like what kind of diet should we actually look up for our just maybe our lunch that's coming up next?
Okay, I would say that because, I mean, we live in different countries, right? And so the food available to us are all very different. And so like for most, I mean, I'm situated in Singapore. So like most Singaporean would think that, I can only go to the hawker center and get a fishball noodle or things like that. And it's not to say that you can't eat them, but I think that most importantly, you must make sure that in your diet, you have a equal amount of macros. We call it macros, so your protein, carbs, fats, but know exactly what you are eating, putting into your body. So whether or not it's a meal that is higher in protein, etc. Like that. If you are trying to lose weight, then maybe you might want to cut down on fat. So food like nasi lemak with higher fats, then you might want to avoid it.
Dang it, Bowen.
Okay, cancel my nasi lemak order for lunch. Alright, I think Sharon is definitely the testimonial to, the supermodel formula as well. I think, how many of you think that Sharon looks amazing? Type Sharon in the chat. Oh, really, really great transformation. Wow, later we gotta ask the audience whether are you single or not.
but I used to have eating disorder actually. So I think I want to share that because I feel like, it's been quite a while since I had that problem, but it started because I didn't know, and I didn't have anybody to teach me what is the right way to lose weight, to manage my diet and things like that. And I feel like knowing that like my eating disorder has nothing to do with diet actually is actually more to do with psychological, the need for control and not being happy with the way my body looks and everything. So I think which is why I come out with the supermodel program, because I feel like looking good and feeling good is very important for one's health
Definitely.
being. Yeah.
All right, amazing. And I think later on, Sharon also got some resources to share with all of us as well. I think right now, we're going to move on to Luke. Okay, because I think everyone is very, very curious about how you overcome depression, ADHD, and today the breathing technique. Can you share with us a little bit more about that?
Sure thing. If I want to kind of go back in time, I remember at 2 a.m. I used to wake up my parents, say, "Mom, Dad, I can't breathe." And they would pack all their stuff and rush me to the hospital because I was having an asthma attack. And because of the asthma attack, I was breathing in my upper chest. I was constantly in a stress state, and that affected my focus. So all my life, I dealt with chronic asthma on my puffers, unable to focus as well, and all the way up to my corporate life, I would say. 2008 global financial crisis hit, and I was pretty much in a mental and emotional breakdown, and I almost lost my life by trying to take it. So that was the lowest point of my life. Fortunately, my wife was there to support me through the journey at the start of my lowest. When you're at your lowest, there's no lower you can go. The only way is up. So I literally clawed my way up the dark well. And what happened was I lost my job during the 2008 global financial crisis. I went to the fitness industry, tried to improve my health, tried to train more, but the thing was that I could not eliminate my asthma and my focus issues. And it was only during COVID period when all of that was happening around me, and I got stressed because my respiratory system was the worst. It was my weakest link. So I read this book called Breath by James Nestor, and that opened my mind to the rabbit hole that was breathing. I was like, wow, this is so interesting. And as a result of reading that book, I'm now a functional breathing practitioner, and I've eliminated 4 decades of asthma. And also now I am extremely focused. I've published books. I'm competed in several competitions around the world as a CrossFitter and as a bodybuilder. And now for me, focus and breathing is my number 1 focus. And for lack of a better word of focus, but what I want to say is breathing is my passion and my one true love. And I'm so passionate because I want to share it with the world because it's so easy and so simple, but at the same time so powerful when you truly use it as a tool.
Wow, I'm sure all of us are breathing while you are speaking. Or anyone, if you're not breathing, you can type NB,
Exactly,
not
if you're
breathing.
not breathing, please type.
But I think importantly is also the technique that you actually breathe. I mean, we have been breathing for
100%.
for many years, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the technique is important, but also can you share with us a little bit more in terms of what are some of the real benefits other than, health and also focus, any other, example of case studies?
Sure, case studies. I guess if I want to kind of paint everyone a picture, imagine you wake up in the morning at whatever time and you have dark eye circles and you felt like you've been kind of going in and out of sleep throughout the whole night and you felt like you did not have a good night's sleep and you take out your phone and all of a sudden you see an email notifications, oh, I've got this email that I need to respond to. On top of that, you have a mountain of tasks that you have to complete today. You've got a few meetings. Your daughter is sick and you need to take her to the doctor, which means you can't complete all these tasks. Stock market just crashed. You may have just lost some money in the stock market. And all this before 7:30 a.m. These are big stresses. These are big stresses that everyone faces. Maybe not everyone. I know I face these stresses throughout my life. But the question is, how can you turn off that stress response, right? And that's where breathing comes in. With specific breathing protocols, you can actually change your mental state in as little as 5 minutes. And it's not really changing the stresses around you, but changing how you respond to these stresses. And that is key because it's all about state management. If you can manage your state, you can really do anything and everything. So with specific breathing techniques, I would say you could really use one particular breathing technique that I have in mind to balance your right and left brain for creative writing. Another breathing technique to balance your nervous system so that you can go into deep work with no distraction. Another breathing technique to, like I did this literally just before this presentation because, of course, there's a bit of nerves, there's a bit of butterflies in your tummy to oxygenate the brain so that I'm ready, roaring to go. So the thing is that breathing is like a tool and people say, all right, look, I breathe, you breathe, we've been breathing all our lives. So it's just like saying a Swiss Army knife, using a Swiss Army knife only for the knife. But when you actually open the Swiss Army knife, there's the corkscrew, there's a file, there's the scissors, and that's what breathing is. There's specific breathing techniques for every application. So it's how you use these techniques and really refine how you breathe to improve your focus, reduce your stress, and actually boost your immune system as well. And that's why I'm so passionate about this. And I want to share this with the world because it's so simple, so powerful, yet so effective.
Yeah, I can really feel your passion when you're sharing about breathing. So I believe that at the end of this, you actually have some resources that you can share with everybody.
I sure do.
Yeah, okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
So now we move on to Nelson, where Nelson is actually the founder of the Functional Institute, and you have actually created an R4 method that actually help with pain management. And I believe many people in the audience, or even like my team members, where we sit down at our laptop for such a long time doing our work, and I feel neck pain, back pain, pain all over. So maybe Nelson, can you share with us more about pain management and what's the R4 method?
Sure, thank you. So let me tell you a story so that we can relate to the 4 pillars of the R4 method. So there was this lady who came and see me with a slip disc, picking a piece of tissue paper from the floor, which we know obviously is not the tissue paper cost. And she's a successful businesswoman. She had to cancel her trip because of the slip disc. She was walking to my gym, limping with a walking stick, with a crooked spine, suffering in pain, sitting, walking, even lying on the bed, even with painkillers. And doctors told her she had to go for surgery. So I got her lying on the bed, which it took minutes just to lie down on the bed and still in pain. Then I applied my first pillar of the R4, which is review, meaning to identify the source of the pain. By the third question I asked her when I was trying to release her tension in the body, I found something that perhaps most of us here are doing every day unknowingly. So the reason why she was having slip disc is because she was doing Zoom session every day for 4 hours on the bed, 5 times a week for almost a year. So that position is slouching on the bed, doing Zoom with a laptop has caused her disc on the spine to slip backwards slowly. So by the time one day, she just bent down to pick a tissue paper, she had that slip disc. So that is the first pillar, which is reviewing the source of the pain in the R4 pillar. Then I move on to the second pillar, which is called release, to release the tension of the body. Now, most people would think that when you have back pain, you'll definitely do everything on the back. You can be massaging the back, acupuncture the back, needle the back, or crack your back. But when she saw me, all I did was releasing her front, which is the abs and the side bum. Because when you slouch on the sofa, you slouch on the bed, this is the front thing that has been tightening, causing your disc to go further back. So the back is actually not the source of the pain, it's actually the symptom. The source was coming from the front. So after releasing her front and the butt, she was feeling so much better, she can get out of bed with no pain and she can start to walk around. But that's not it. There's a third pillar, which is called retrain, the third R. Retrain meaning we need to wake up the weaker muscles in the body to realign your joint position back to neutral so you can function optimally again without pain. But then again, most people with back pain thinking that, oh, I need to train my core, so core is front. Everybody start to do plank. That is exactly the opposite, because after learning from an expert back pain scientist, Professor Stuart McGill, retraining people with slip disc, you actually has to train the back of the core and the side of the core. That will stabilize the spine to prevent the slip disc from coming back. And lastly, the fourth R pillar, which is result. Hence, the lady can walk out in the gym seeing the permanent result that she wants. So that is pretty much the whole R4. But here's the last important advice that I always share with my clients to help them to remember what I want to teach them, which hopefully can help you guys who are, some of you having back pain and suffering slip disc. So I told this businesswoman, when you leave me today, to prevent the back pain from coming back, remember this, your bed can only be used for 2 things. You guess what is it? 1, for sleeping only. 2, for making babies only. You got my message? Definitely don't use your bed for online shopping, watching the TV, because all those will cause you back pain. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I can totally relate with this because during the period of COVID, I actually did work on the bed and I did experience lower back problem. So I actually, I got a shock because I was in my early 20s. I was like, shouldn't back problems be for, I mean, you know, older people, maybe,
Exactly.
yeah. Exactly. So for me, I personally went for chiro, but I've heard many people actually go to chiropractors, etc., and they still feel the pain. Like, what's the reason for that?
Okay, good question. The reason because a lot of pain specialists and professionals, they all want to help you to live pain-free. However, their solution is still incomplete, meaning the chiro that you mentioned is only looking at the second half of the solution, which is called release, by cracking your bone to release the tension, the compression in the nerve. But if the chiro didn't find out the source of the problem, which is I call review, which is obviously you sitting on the bed, sitting on the sofa, or even sitting on the floor, that is the main part that keeps triggering the pain. So the chiro missed that part. And the chiro also missed the third part, which is retraining your weaker muscles to hold your skeleton back to alignment. The chiro can keep cracking your bone, but if the weaker muscle don't hold the skeleton back into alignment, you'll keep falling back to the overused muscle habit of holding your spine. That's why the pain keep coming back. Okay?
Interesting, very interesting. I think you need to sit more. Are we sitting straight enough? I suddenly feel very
Thank you very
conscious
much.
about my posture.
It's okay. I just need to look good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Welcome.
Wow, I think that was really amazing sharing, okay, by all the fitness guru over here, and makes me really rethink about, you know, getting back into shape. But I think with the technology, yeah, at least for now, we can do some photo editing and video editing to make me look good for now. Okay, I think coming back to Sharon, okay, so I think in terms of the resources, okay, so for people who want to actually learn the supermodel framework, you know, can you share with them the resources that we're providing for our audience over here at the Next Level Conference?
So I actually do have a Telegram group which I think the QR code can be sent up later. So in that Telegram group, I actually will have so videos of exercises that one can do, whether is it at home or in the gym or at, like, basically some require no equipment at all, because I think that one thing most people have, one problem most people have is that they always say, I don't have access to the gym and everything. So I don't think that should become an obstacle to them achieving what they actually are looking for in terms of the ideal body type that they want. So actually, home workouts are also like available in Telegram. And then there are also tips and other research that I actually found myself on like things like law of specificity, and then also like there are many theories like minimum effective dosage. So if you are interested in how you can actually adopt those theories and incorporate it into your fitness life, to achieve what you want, I think you can join me at my Telegram group, and then I can share more over there with you.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I think some of the, people will still have excuses. I don't even want to climb out of the bed. They didn't listen to Nelson, because on your bed, you only do two things. You sleep and you make baby, not exercise. Okay. And what about Liu? Okay, what are some of the resources you can share with our audiences?
Indeed, like Sharon over here, I do have a Telegram group, and for me, what I go by is a breath architect, but it's not about me, but helping people become breath architects for themselves, creating a breathing program around their problems. And what are the common problems that people face? Poor sleep, lack of focus, especially in a hyper-connected world, maybe anxiety, panic, and even chronic respiratory issues like I am. So in this Telegram group, I'll share a 4-step process to optimizing breathing for focus, health, and also improving your immune system as well, but be able to turn off stress like that, just as I was sharing just before. So join me in the Telegram group and you'll get this free gift of my 4 key breathing protocols, breathing techniques to help you focus better and get healthier as well. So I look forward to seeing you there and sharing more in this Telegram group.
All right, fantastic. And I think for those of you who wants to relieve your pain and want to live a really better and healthier life, Nelson, what are some of the tips and tricks you have for them?
Sure. Similarly, I have a Telegram channel. So in the channel, I'll be sharing a lot of good tips and information about the whole body pain. For example, first thing in the morning, you have heel pain when you step on the ground. You can be having rheumatoid arthritis knee. You have multiple ankle sprain. You have collapsed arch due to flat foot. You have hip pain, SI joint pain, slip disc, bulging disc, or even frozen shoulder, tennis elbow, golf elbow, even persistent headache and migraine and stiff neck, all those kind of things. I'll share a lot of good tips. And on top of that, for those who are attending this conference, I'm going to offer for the first 50 people who join my Telegram, for you and your family members, you're going to get a free one-to-one consultation with me, either in my gym or via Zoom. We're going to identify exactly what is the cause of your chronic pain. Once we identify the source, it's very easy to treat the pain just by making some simple lifestyle changes. And I also have an upcoming 2 hours masterclass webinar coming up next Wednesday. I'll put more details in the Telegram chat group. Feel free to attend the webinar so that you can learn more about understanding why you have been having this pain for years and not able to break free from it and eventually achieve peak performance. Okay, see you soon.
Awesome, thank you, Nelson. So when we were chatting previously, you actually shared this very short 5-second trick where the audience can actually check whether they have any neck pains. So I was thinking before we wrap up the panel, I think, can we actually go through the exercise together with you?
Sure. So I'm going to show you a good trick that has helped me to fix a lady with 7 years of chronic neck and shoulder pain, migraine and headache. She saw 7 physios, was not able to fix her pain. So this is the good trick to see whether it is coming from your shoulder blade. So I want you to follow me. All you need to be in the sitting or standing position, doesn't matter. Keep your body upright. You just put one hand on top of your head first. Follow me if you can. Now, in that position, I want you to try to shrug your shoulder up and down. So you can see yourself in the Zoom and see whether you can move up and down freely on one of the shoulder blade first. So after trying about 5 times, if you find it very difficult to come up, that means you definitely have shoulder blade dysfunction, which is causing your neck and shoulder pain. Now try the other side and compare. Is it one side harder or one side totally can't move at all? Okay? So 99% of the people that come and see me with neck and shoulder pain, I just need to do this test. I can easily conclude why they keep having migraine and headache for years with medication and whatsoever. It's all due to lack of a shoulder blade function, or they even have lateral elbow pain, so-called a tennis elbow pain and golf elbow pain. It's all because coming from the shoulder dysfunction. So by addressing the shoulder, you can actually free up your neck problem and shoulder problem as well. Okay?
All right. Once again, thank you so much, Sharon, Liu, and Nelson for sharing with us
Thank you,
all the
everyone,
wonderful
tuning
tips
in.
and tricks, and also sharing with our audience so many of the resources as well. Can everybody just type in CCC which means for clap, clap, clap for our panelists over here. All right, and next up, we're going to have our next speaker, who is none other than Glenn Ho. So Glenn, okay, wow, he is a good friend of mine. Okay, he has been doing options investing for the longest time. He's right now the CEO of Next Level Invest, and today he's going to share with us how you can also benefit in today's volatile market and use option to profit whether the market goes up, down, or even sideways. And Glenn, he is an international speaker that has been speaking in many different countries as well. So let's put our hands together and legs to welcome Glenn Ho.